What up, guys? It's Rob Monty here, bringing you guys some more wrestling news content here on YouTube. So, let's take a look in today's news. There's a lot going on, I would say, but let's take a look what we got here. So, first and foremost, I wanted to start off with Triple H because he's going to discuss what the response of WWE is to the coronavirus, and this is what he had to say to the Yahoo Sports, who asked him, regarding coronavirus, has the procedures and safety measures in place changed since the recent wave of positive tests? Is there any added concern considering that Florida is one of the hot spots in the country? Currently, any plans to create maybe more of a bubble? And Triple H goes on and says, look, this is a difficult experience and learning experience for everybody, especially for us. Everything that we are doing health and safety wise has evolved at the Performance Center. As we learn more about it and as this changes, we're going to continue to evolve. I felt like every day you're getting different information. Right now we're testing all talent, production crew, employees, everybody in advance the television production. And we'll continue that for the foreseeable future. We have a mandatory mask policy now for all performers and staff when not on camera. All of this has changed. The testing procedures, as they became more available at an accurate level, there was a lot of people saying that they were testing at the beginning and doing rapid testing with some questionable accuracy. We were doing the guidelines, what the CDC, what our medical staff were telling us were the most beneficial procedures for the health and the well-being of our talent, staff, crew. At the time, as technology has advanced and the ability to test people has improved, we have stayed on top of that as well. As far as the bubble strategy, everybody has a different take on this. My feeling is, yes, it's increasing everywhere, but our testing is increasing as well. I think we have been very successful in that. Prior to this recent wave, what we're doing was working. We didn't have a massive outbreak. As things increased, what we have been able to do, in my opinion, has been to protect the people that come in and participate with us in the performances. When you see there are positives, that is the system working. That's people coming from where they live, where they're from, whatever exposure they have had. That's us stopping it before it gets into. I don't want to say bubble because I don't believe you can do that to people and have them only around each other. Our building, everybody is going to be around others. Their families, things they do in personal lives, if they have had contact, are at risk or putting others at risk. We are preventing them from coming in every time that we go to the Performance Center and leave. It is a pandemic level cleaned. We're doing everything we possibly can. So, for those of you guys who are wondering what Triple H is saying about the pandemic that's going on in WWE right now, it's that right now, even though there's an outbreak going on, WWE has done everything they can to protect their performers. Unfortunately, guys, I think this is all all this is leading up from the events from back in the last month, guys. And think about it. When the protests all broke out, people did not talk about the coronavirus as much as they used to. And because of that, everybody's been taking it very, very lightly. And, there's a lot of people who are even going like, what if this thing is not even real? What if this is just bullshit that the media hyped up and all that kind of crap, just so that we stay out of our communities, kind of thing? And the fact of the matter is, now that things have been opening up more, such as restaurants, city functions, events, and just the people going out to protest, the coronavirus has been being breaking out more. There's been more cases coming out because of this. And it's just because that's what you were to expect from the COVID-19. So I believe what Triple H is saying is true. And what they have done is they did the best they could based off the CDC's guidelines. However, with the recent events that's been happening, especially with the opening up of the country, I think the spread has just gotten worse. I mean, this is not a WWE thing. This is a world thing, a world issue going on as we are speaking right now. And to be honest, they've done everything they could, but how can you stop an outbreak from happening either way? You know, it's not that easy to do. And, you know, that's what we got when opening up the country. That's why in California it's gotten worse. That's why in Florida it's starting to break out more. In New York, of course, it's going to be worse because I don't think Governor Cuomo did a good job, just to be honest. And my mom laughs right now just because she knows it's true, because that guy's just basically... that's a crisis in itself. I'm sorry, guys. All right, so, and there's more backstage update on the coronavirus outbreak in WWE, as right now, this is what they're saying. Several weeks ago, that included multiple people, including Renee Young, Jamie Noble, Adam Pearce, Kyla Braxton, all confirming that they have tested positive. There's been at least 30 from what it's been coming out. Reports have also reported that many of the names, due to the HIPAA laws, the following talent have not been back to the Performance Center since the outbreak. Those names would include Dana Brooke, Carmella, Naomi, the Street Profits, Velveteen Dream. I think Velveteen has another issue going on that is not related to the coronavirus. As you guys know, a lot of those wrestlers from the UK have gotten involved with that sexual assault, and there's also a lot of things going on with Velveteen Dream. And that's why he's probably hasn't been back. But there's also Austin Theory that's not back. Daniel Bryan is out. I can understand Daniel Bryan more so because he was in contact with Renee Young. I'm kind of worried about AJ if that's the case, or he might be the lucky one out of the three. But then there's also Finn Balor, Liv Morgan, Mandy Rose, Otis, Tucker, Mojo Rawley, Natalya. I believe they told Natalya to stay home with Tyson. That way they wouldn't get infected. That's what I remember that we reported last week. Shorty G's among them, Raquel Gonzalez, Sheamus, and Sonya Deville, and Nia Jax are the ones that haven't been back to the Performance Center since. But just for on the record, that does not mean they have all tested positive, as they could have just been not booked at all and they're just staying at home. And like I said, Velveteen might be off just because of that sexual allegations made against him. So, you know, these guys are not confirmed cases. However, these guys are the guys that haven't been back since. This is what Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and Roman Reigns have done anyway, was to stay home and protect themselves and their families. That's why they haven't been on TV for so long. I think Kevin came back on TV this past week, but that's because they were making making it more sure that whenever somebody gets into the arena or into the Performance Center, that the coronavirus is not amongst them. And here's what else is going on. As far as Daniel Bryan and Sheamus are concerned, however, the two of them have appeared via Zoom on SmackDown. That likely means they were planned for the show, but they didn't or couldn't show up. And here's the thing, like I said, guys, Velveteen Dream, it says it right here. Actually, Velveteen Dream and Austin Theory have been accused of sexual misconduct as a result of the Speaking Out movement. So, and also, I just forgot about this. Velveteen has also been involved in a car accident. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's recovering as we speak. Then also, here's what they say about Dana Brooke and Carmella and Naomi. They weren't appearing prior to the outbreak to begin with. And Nia Jax also disappeared right after she injured Charlotte Flair. So, yeah, that's the big update. So, a good number of these guys could have tested positive, but it's not necessarily means they did. But they haven't been back on the show. And Velveteen Dream and Austin Fury speak out loudly because of that whole sexual misconduct thing going on. And as far as Daniel Bryan and Sheamus, that might be concerning. That's just my honest opinion. As far as Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns, they haven't been on TV since they decided to sit out. I think Roman was before WrestleMania, Sami right after WrestleMania. Kevin Owens, it's an on and off thing. So, there we're going on that. All right, next. This is actually going to be question of the day. Braun Strowman has challenged Drew McIntyre to a WWE Championship match for WrestleMania 37. And as you can tell, Drew posted up a new photo of himself. And then Braun Strowman goes and says this. Don't think I've forgotten about it. You know, you got one coming. But only way I see it fit is the for title on the grandest stage of them all. What you say, psychopath? And Drew McIntyre is like looking with both eyes wide. In general, guys, I think this would be a cool match to see. I mean, Braun Strowman versus Drew McIntyre. It'd be almost like a rendition of Hogan versus Andre, but probably better in athletics in any way, form, or shape. But I gotta ask you guys, what do you guys think? Do you think Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre for WrestleMania, title versus title, sounds like a great main event for WrestleMania? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. All right. Next, Lio Rush hints at possible retirement announcement. I thought he did this a couple times already, but okay. So he has this video up right now that it says, it's been an amazing ride. And basically, he's announcing that he will be having the final match for Lio Rush on July 20th, 2020. So if you guys want to watch that match, check it out with Lio Rush. Quite honestly, I know he's trying to go into a rap career. He's going to go and sing some rap now, and I wish him nothing but the best. But, you know, I think, like he said, like from what it sounded like, guys, I think his time in wrestling is done, just because of the way he's talked about it, the way he's come out and vented about how he felt like he was treated amongst the companies that he's been a part of, and that he's been losing that fire to wrestle. So, you know, I think he's right, you know. And then on top of that, you also had that fight with Mark Henry. So, yeah, I think it's best that Lio Rush maybe move on into something else, because if you don't love wrestling no more, and you're in the profession, you probably should get out. It's not going to be fun anymore. That's just how it is. All right. So I wish him the best and success in his rap career, and I hope this match turns out better than what he's had in a long time. You know, go out on a high note. That's what I say. All right, next. Rumor matches for this year's SummerSlam. So this is what the Wrestling Observer is reporting as far as what will be taking place at SummerSlam. First and foremost, it will be Matt Riddle versus Baron Corbin in a number one contenders match at a shot at AJ Styles' Intercontinental title. Personally, I feel like this match could be a good match, but I know they're going to either try to push Baron Corbin as a top heel for AJ, but that's only if AJ is going to be a babyface. Right now, I believe he's a neutral. As far as Baron Corbin goes, he's great as a heel. I love Baron Corbin out there. Especially when he gets owned, by Asuka. As far as Matt Riddle goes, I think this is the guy that they're going to probably go with in the mid-card, that they're going to put on as a rising star. And then they're going to have the Tag Team Championship, I'm guessing, from this, because then right now it's being rumored it'll be Andrade and Angel Garza versus the Street Profits which in my opinion would be an interesting match in general, just because Andrade is probably the better wrestler out of Selena Vega's group. Angel Garza is a future star. And the Street Profits, man, these guys are great. You know, I mean, I love them. They're entertaining. They're entertaining tag team. And then SmackDown will also have a tag team championship match. And the tag team.
Still thought you were going. I don't know if you want to work. Nobody's working. I'm gonna let her know.
Alright, and now, guys, SmackDown Tag Team Champions, The New Day, will defend their titles against Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura. What are my thoughts about that match in general? If they do it, let Cesaro and Nakamura win the damn tag titles. Both guys deserve something better. And I think The New Day, need to do something new. And then the Universal Championship, which is being advertised, it looks like, will be The Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Braun Strowman, which I kind of expected, because come Extreme Rules with Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt match, I see Braun going over Bray. And come SummerSlam, I think Braun's going down to The Fiend. I just think so. I think Braun Strowman's title reign will be ended by The Fiend. That's just how I look at it. But what are you guys' thoughts on that? Then we got the WWE Championship match, which is being considered Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre. I would say this would be an interesting match. I mean, I don't think it would be a bad match at all. I think a lot of people would love to see Randy Orton on his high horse, trying to become WWE Champion again, but also put over Drew McIntyre. McIntyre's been doing great, so I don't think it's time to end the reign yet at SummerSlam. However, I think Randy Orton is a good person to go up against to put yourself on the proving stick. I mean, I think if Drew faces Randy, it just legitimizes his title run all the much more. Kind of like it did last year with Kofi. So, but I think Drew's going to beat Randy. That's just my honest opinion. Unless Randy finds how to counter Claymore of RKO, which I would be like, how the fuck you're going to do that? Would be freaking awesome, you know? Well, we'll see. Next on Backstage News is going to be a backstage update on Rey Mysterio's WWE contract. For those who are wanting to know, it was reported earlier within the month that Rey has been working without a contract in WWE. Mysterio recently was asked for a Rey. Actually, let me reread that. WWE without a contract, Rey Mysterio has been for the last month. But Mysterio recently asked for a raise from Vince McMahon. However, McMahon told him it was a bad time for his request due to the recent amount of releases. Mysterio has been working for WWE without a deal for months now. So his contract's been expired, guys, but he's still working the shows. And the main reason is probably because him and Vince are still negotiating. And from what it sounds like, Rey wants a raise. But because of COVID-19, that's kind of made it hard for Vince to pay up the raise. But this is what else is being reported now. As from the Wrestling Observer says, essentially where things stand is that Mysterio had asked for the raise and had been told no. Raises were being offered, and that they had just let a number of wrestlers go. Mysterio is working under the terms set out in his previous contract. WWE has said the match can only end with one competitor has extracted the eyeball of the other. Per the report, CGI will likely be a part of the Extreme Rules match. I'm gonna CGI. Oh my god, I can't believe Melcher just brought that up. The idea is to do a tape match with and use some form of CGI effects to simulate the eye being pulled out as the finish. Meltzer report finally, should Mysterio lose the match and his eye, it will likely swerve as a way to write him off television. Alright, so my personal thoughts on this is that Ray's been working without a contract. Ray's been asking for a raise when renegotiating his contract. And they're basically paying him based off what he had prior to his contract expiring. So I'm glad Ray's still getting paid, guys, that way, you know. I mean, he deserves it nonetheless. And he definitely would deserve the raise. I understand Vince's reasoning to why he doesn't feel like he probably should honor that raise just because of what's been going on. If the pandemic had never happened, Ray probably would still be with the company with a higher pay now. By now. That's just how it would be. As far as Mysterio goes, guys, I'm just glad he's getting paid the amount that they are offering him. I'm also grateful that, you know, they want to make sure his storyline with Dominic continues. But this is what is going down, yeah. Ray is possibly going to be wrestling his last match at Extreme Rules for WWE at this moment as far as this contract goes. That's how they're looking at it because they're looking to write him off, as Meltzer is reporting. Things can change, though, guys. Things can change. Ray might sign a new deal and we wouldn't even know it. That's how sometimes it works in the wrestling business. I mean, CM Punk's contract expired the night of Money in the Bank. 2 weeks later, he's back with the company. So that kind of and the signing had taken place the night of Money in the Bank.
Hi, Bobby.
Hey, how's it going, Mel? Yeah. But that's just how it's being reported right now. And as far as this eye for eye match, for them to use CGI effects to simulate the eye being extracted from as the finish, guys, as far as the eye being extracted with CGI, I can't believe Meltzer even suggested this or even said this on his own Wrestling Observer letter. I guess he just wants to make it seem like WWE is just gonna fuck with us kind of thing. But or you know, just hating on. I guess this is his shot for the week at WWE. I don't know. But when I look at Meltzer right now, I just like saying CGI. Really? You're gonna say CGI? And here's the thing. He's not wrong totally because WWE has used CGI. I mean, look at the new graphic effects that they use for certain superstars when they come to the ring at WrestleMania. Look at some of them who get that special effects like the New Day does. I could see them using CGI, yes. But I do not know how this is going to look if you're going to have a CGI'd eyeball being pulled out. I mean, that's just going to be fucking crazy. Crazy, you know? Just fucking crazy. Well, you know what, my honest opinion though, folks? They probably can get away with it because there's not going to be a whole lot of regular wrestling fans in that audience to say, he didn't pull nothing out, you know? But as far as this goes, I hate that Meltzer reported this because if I didn't know there was not going to be CGI, it probably wouldn't kill the match like how he just tried to do that right now. So I say, guys, just watch Extreme Rules and see how this goes. I mean, CGI or not, I mean, it should be a good match. I mean, it's Rey Mysterio versus Seth Rollins, for crying out loud. This match should be good. As far as the eyeball thing, the CGI thing, I wish Meltzer didn't report it just because it's like he's spoiling the match for us. And spoil the wonder and myth in our head. Basically making us be skeptical of what WWE is producing. And the thing is, guys, it would work too if they did CGI just because all the people in that audience already knows what they're going to be doing as explained. So some of them are in the loop of the know, whereas some people are not. Whereas if you were to go to a attendance fans of somewhere from 15,000 to 400,000 fans in the arena, yeah, it would be very skeptical to believe CGI. But with what they have now, thanks to COVID-19, it might be believable. We'll see how it goes, you know. Next on the news today, AJ Styles calls Paul Heyman a bold-faced liar. And this is coming from AJ's streaming channel on Twitch, I believe, or Mixer. And this is what Styles had to say. There were some rumors going around that AJ Styles left Raw to go to SmackDown because he was being bullied. That may be the dumbest thing I've ever heard, Styles said. I mean, I'm a grown man. If there were some bullying going on that upset me enough to leave Raw to go to SmackDown, I would handle it. And whether I got my tail beat or not, I'd still handle it. I'm a grown man, so I'll just throw that out there. And then he goes on to say, when it came to the rumor about Paul Heyman and being upset with him because he didn't take up for Gallows and Anderson before they got released, that's not what it was at all. AJ continued, it's not even close. You get a snippet of what me, Gallows, and Anderson already know. Paul Heyman is a liar. No, now you know. I'm sure you've heard that before. If you go back to his ECW days, you'll hear that he's a bold-faced liar. So that's my take on it. I will let Gallows and Anderson add to it. Somebody had to do this to the Warriors, guys. I believe AJ Styles. I take AJ Styles' side because I know Paul Heyman to be a liar. And to make Paul Heyman sound big in Vince's eyes in front of AJ Styles about Gallows and Anderson, let me tell you this. Why didn't Paul Heyman fight for Gallows and Anderson if that was the case? So, yeah, I sit back with AJ on this and say, yeah, let Gallows and Anderson do it. Let him call him out. Let him call him out, you know? So, and I agree. Heyman is a liar, guys. He's lied. And he's even admitted it on TV. He lied. He lied to survive another day. And this is just what example it is. As far as AJ Styles going about it, you know, I would rather take AJ Styles' word over Heyman's any day, because Heyman is a genius as he can be. He does lie. And I don't think AJ Styles has ever lied. I think every time AJ Styles has ever been candid, he's been truthful and honest. Even when it came to his whole issue of Dixie Carter and TNA, how he felt like they saw nothing in him at the end because he should have been paid for what he should have been paid, or what he was asking for. Like AJ, to me, when he left TNA, he should have been given that raise he was asking for. He shouldn't be treated as an afterthought. I mean, the fact that they made him an afterthought after Hogan and them came in makes me really sad, because AJ Styles back then was probably one of the best forms of AJ Styles. And I'm glad WWE took that and made something bigger out of it, you know? Just imagine how big of a star of AJ Styles became if they had taken him seriously down there at the last part of his career in TNA. Because look what New Japan did. They made him into a major, major star by giving him the IWGP World title. And then on top of that, when he came to WWE, they made him a major, major star. I mean, I'm going to be hypothetical here too, guys. If AJ Styles were to go to AEW right now, he'd be one of the biggest things in AEW if he were to jump ship. And the main reason for that is just because it's the phenomenal AJ Styles. And quite honestly, he probably would have the same status as Jericho in the company there. That's just how I look at it, because AJ would be that damn over. And you know, here's the thing. He's over everywhere he's been. He's been over in WCW, even if it was just a small stint. He's been over in Ring of Honor. He's been over in TNA. He's been over in New Japan, Mexico, you name it. AJ's a big name everywhere, so... You know, and every time he's ever been candid about something, guys, he's always been honest, truthful, and he's even spoke out. He spoke out against Hogan, how Hogan didn't see much in him. He spoke out how Dixie mistreated him at the end. You know, and I'm pretty sure this is not the first time you're going to hear AJ be candid and real about people in WWE has mistreated him in some form, and Paul Heyman is just one of them. And as far as being bullied goes, I don't think he would be bullied, to be honest. You know why? You guys want to know why? And I'm going to debunk this whole rumor of him being bullied. It's the simple fact that he's AJ Styles. I mean, for 2 years straight, he was the top guy on SmackDown. The top guy. While Roman was being the top guy on Raw, and Seth was on his way to becoming the top guy. As far as I'm concerned, AJ's in a high place as far as talent goes. So, you know, for them to say that he's being bullied, that's just funny to me, because that would mean if you're bullying AJ Styles, I'm pretty sure it's going to get back to Vince, and then Vince is going to go like, well, I guess I'm going to have to fire these assholes, you know? That's just my honest opinion. AJ's earned every major main event status. And if he's in the top card, I mean, fuck. There's no reason he's going to get bullied. There's going to be more ass kissing, if anything. That's just my honest opinion, guys. Alright, now we're going to move on to Keith Lee. And he's going to talk about what he got from Undertaker and the advice. And this is what he said, what it says here in his interview on the Bleacher Report. On going from being an extra on Raw that Triple H beat up in 2009 to being the NXT dual champion. He goes like, it always tickles me so much to look back and be like, man, that guy was beating me up a little bit over a decade ago. Now I'm sitting here getting the finger point photo and double serving of it. It's something real special. It's one of those things you have to cherish. On the advice he got from Undertaker. Even before I made it to WWE, and he doesn't remember, but he gave me a little bit of knowledge only a few years into the sport. And then he gave me more recently. I cherish these things, and I try to show them. Not only do I listen, I apply what they say. I want these guys to know, in case we never get to hang out ever again, or whatever it may be, but that I will do my best to uphold and uplift them with everything that I do in this spot. That's some real deep shit. And then being called up to the main roster. He goes, I very much believe in making the most of my present, but I'm also a very strategic human being. For me, isn't just about my present. It's also looking to my future and try to think of the ways I can facilitate more competition and try to capitalize on my own wins and my own accolades, and make everything mean as much as it possibly can. Because when you make what you do mean something, those moments mean so much more. Alright. And that's a very humble response from Keith Lee, in my opinion. And I think that's a great, great response to all these things going on. For one, guys, I love what he said. Basically, what Undertaker had told him, and that is it's right here. Not only listen, but to apply what those guys know and what will get him over. So basically, Taker put essence of what he did for all these years, and basically instilled it in Keith Lee at a young age. And now we got the big monster that we see today that's ruling NXT. And quite honestly, I'm enjoying every minute of it. I am. I love watching the Spear Bomb. I love Keith's finish. I mean, and on top of that, the presence and the confidence that he provides in the ring, guys. I say this guy even for a big man, he's going to be a major, major player for a long time. How far do I see him getting on the main roster? I believe he'll get the WWE Championship or the Universal Championship just because of the fact that this man doesn't just remind me of a Mark Henry, but this guy is a more athletic, big guy, which reminds me a lot of Bam Bam Bigelow. And he's doing things that most big men aren't able to do. So, yeah, I mean, when I watch Keith Lee, it's like that is an attraction and a full-on attraction that you can go to every time. You're always going to be impressed. And I say big ups, man, big ups. And I'm also going to say congratulations on the double title victory. I think that was beautiful, beautiful match. All right, I'm going to leave this open because I'm thinking about ideas for our thumbnail. All right, AEW and NXT set to go head-to-head, guys, with the UFC and NASCAR racing next week. Oh, my God. If you think competition wasn't getting any hotter for WWE or AEW, as you know, they are squaring off in the Wednesday Night War. But now, next week, they'll be going up against both the UFC and NASCAR. UFC will be running a live event from Fight Island that will air on ESPN. Fox Sports 1 will also be airing NASCAR. Ho! All-Star Open. For what it's worth, the main card for the UFC show begins 9 p.m. So AEW and NXT will have to go up with the first hour of the main card, of the preliminary card of the UFC. And Tegan, and guys, I'm going to say this. I mean, if you're a sports fan and you love MMA, professional wrestling, or even NASCAR racing, it's a dream week for you. If you love all three, it's a dream week because now you can go watch MMA, you can watch WWE, AEW, you can watch NASCAR next week because you're going to be flipping through the channels. Most likely, if you are a fan of all three, if you're a fan of wrestling, racing, UFC, you're going to be flipping through the channels on NXT. You're going to be flipping the channels on Dynamite. You're going to be flipping channels on Fight Island. And you're definitely going to be flipping channels on the All-Star Open. So, in my humblest opinion, guys, it should be a fun week. I can see both Dynamite and NXT's ratings going down a little bit. But anyway, this is what's being advertised for next week's shows. So Tegan Nox and Io Shirai will meet for the Women's Championship on NXT. Moxley and Brian Cage will be going up against each other for the AEW World Title, which will headline Dynamite, which is known as Fight for the Fallen, next week. So, what I'm going to say, it's a big fucking night, guys. I mean, you got UFC's card, you got WWE's NXT Women's Championship going on, you got the AEW World Title match next week, and then on top of that, if you love racing, God. Oh, I just feel like I'm plugging all four shows right now because, quite honestly, this is going to be a one hell of a fucking Wednesday. I promise you that. Alright, now we're on to some AEW news. As AEW announces their initiative to support the Northeast Florida's response to COVID-19. And this is what they had to say. Fight for the Fallen t-shirt and donation drive will benefit Florida's first Coast Relief Fund and feeding of Northeast Florida. July 10th, leading up to the highly anticipated Fight for the Fallen event, which is next week Wednesday, will announce two charity-driven initiatives to help support Florida's response to COVID-19. All right, guys. So, AEW is going to be making huge profits and donations to the Florida's First Coast Relief, feeding Northeast Florida. So, you guys, if you want to help out, I mean, please, guys, help donate to these charities because Florida's really having this, it's really getting the shit hit the fan with this COVID-19. And here's the thing, you can also donate and assist them by going to AEWFightForTheFallen.com. So, guys, let me highlight that for y'all so you guys can see what website to go to. So, if you guys want to donate, go into the highlighted where it says www.aewfightforthefallen.com, and you will find more details about this. And if you want to help out with North Florida right now, I mean, that's something that you guys should do. You know? All right. Next on here, especially with AEW, Jacksonville Jaguars are announcing fan attendance for a maximum 25% attendance for games. And this goes to the Jaguars Twitter, where it says, "We have and will continue to work diligently to develop new protocols for the health and safety of the entire Jaguars family, including our fans. Learn more about them for the upcoming season," which was right here on the link on the Jaguars main home site. So check that out, guys, if you are interested in going to a Jaguars game. All right, and speaking of WWE and AEW, both of them have been both nominated for Emmy Award this year. And they will be on a category called Outstanding Structured Reality Programming. And both of them are nominated for this. In Raw's description, Raw delivers live edge, off-your-seat action, larger-than-life characters, and an unpredictable drama for 3 hours every Monday night. SmackDown, for more than 20 years, with more than 1,000 episodes, SmackDown has showcased WWE's top superstars and created countless memorable moments. And then for Dynamite, AEW is a global wrestling league featuring a world-class roster of diverse male and female wrestlers, giving fans the first new wrestling experience in 20 years. AEW is headlined by Cody and Brandy Rhodes, Chris Jericho, Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Hangman Page, and Jon Moxley. I could see Tony Khan writing this, but I also can see Jericho be the one writing this description. But this is what we're getting for. They're both being nominated for Outstanding Structured Reality Program. Why can't they say sports entertainment? I do not freaking know. But this is being reported by the Observer, so take it with a grain of salt. Alright, now let's go on to some backstage news on Ring of Honor, where it says correction on Ring of Honor not offering new contracts. Basically, last week, Bully Ray had parted ways with Ring of Honor, as the company is not offering new deals during the pandemic. In an update, Ian Riccaboni is saying there have been some new contract signings and renewals. Also, some of the talent have seen increases in pay despite no live events being run at the current time. With that being said, no big deals are being offered. Riccaboni also told the Wrestling Observer that he actually signed a new deal recently. While no new Ring of Honor live events have been announced as of this writing, the company is looking into holding some empty arena shows later this month. So for you guys who are wondering about Ring of Honor and this report by Ian Riccaboni in the Wrestling Observer, the fact that Ian is one of those guys who are within Ring of Honor, this is more likely a first source, and this is probably fact that's being told. So right there, guys, that's a first and second source there, and this here is a third source. So just letting you guys know that. All right. Let's go into this. Drew McIntyre says, I had to convince Heath Slater to return to Raw. Oh, man. And this is what he had to say on how he played a big part in Heath Slater's surprise return. The moment at the end was very special, and I was very much pushing for that idea to happen. I think I saw something on the internet saying I was behind it, and I'm thinking, how are they getting this information? But yeah, I played a big part in making it happen. And to be honest, Heath was a little bit against it, and I spoke to my wife right before the phone call I made to Heath to try and convince him to come on to the show for the segment. She reminded me how I felt at the time when I was released. And sure enough, he felt the same. He appreciated the opportunity with WWE. It was where he made his name. But mentally, he has moved on. He's ready for the next stage, and he's not sure about going backwards. So I made it clear to him like this: trust me, this is going to be like anything you've done. This isn't going to be anything like you this isn't going to be anything like you've done. On how it's important to him for his character to show flaws. It really helped mine and Dolph's storyline. I know obviously I'm supposed to be a top good guy, so it's not ideal in a lot of eyes to put out there that I've been a bad friend, but the way I look at it with my character, especially given the environment we're in, we could tell more complex story. In an arena, I'd have been booed to pieces for being such a terrible friend, but in this environment, I think it's important to show my character is flawed because I am. Like Cena is Superman and Roman can be bulletproof a lot of time, but I think Drew McIntyre is Drew Galloway. I am a flawed person, and Dolph tried to put me in a difficult situation, showing maybe I haven't been as attentive to my friend as I should have been in the front of the world. That shows I'm a human being. You saw it in my face. You saw Drew Galloway. And then it's like, I feel really bad here. I'll give you what you want. And at the end, we reunited. We overcame Dolph, and I think that it's important for my character to show flaws. Guys, I totally agree with Drew on that. If anything, it made him look more human. Does a flaw make somebody weak? No. A flaw just means there's something that you need to fix on yourself and need to work on yourself. And the fact that they did this part of the storyline, I think was great because it shows that people can relate to Drew, can relate to Heath, and can relate to Dolph even too. So, I think that was a great move by McIntyre right there. So, I think McIntyre is doing great work as champion, guys. And I really love the work that him and Heath did this Monday. I'm glad that they got to do that. All right. Next, we're going on to a couple reports, which is our last set of news today. First off, we're going to go up to Anthem. Media requested PP loan from U.S. government. This is coming from the Observer, so I don't know how true it is, but as far as Impact's parent company right now, which is Anthem Wrestling Exhibitions, has asked the United States government for a loan in the Paycheck Protection Program. The loan allowed Anthem to save 106 jobs during the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. They appear to be the only major wrestling company to request a loan. The loan was between $150,000 to $350,000. As many of you know, Impact Wrestling and many others were forced to cancel their WrestleMania week events. One of those included the TNA, There's No Place Like Home show. I think this is a good move by TNA and Anthem. I mean, they're still airing shows, and I believe the talent are still being paid. So, I think this was a good decision by Impact in general. I think this was a good one by Anthem in general. What do I feel about this as far as the other companies not doing so? I can see AEW not, because Tony Khan's is a billionaire, a billionaire's kid. And then you look at McMahon. He should be a billionaire, but he's a millionaire. So what does that tell you? They could probably pay the talent. But Anthem is a lower wrestling company as of this writing, even though they're a major wrestling company. So, but they made the choice to do this. I think it was a great idea. What do you guys think? All right, and our final report today. I laugh because I just reported this last week that Brian Pillman might be going to AEW, right? But apparently this is what was reported by EWN. Brian Pillman Jr. had been permitted to go to the shows that aren't running live events. You want my honest opinion, when they're not running live events, guys, that is the TV show. And as you guys know, most wrestling TV shows that's on TV right now are empty arenas, so they're not live events anymore. So, my God, what the hell were you thinking, Court Bearer? And now it's being reported by the Observer. Pillman recently tried to get out of his MLW contract, but they denied him. Pillman is under one of the older MLW contract, which allows him to appear for other promotions. Some of the new MLW contracts are more restrictive. Oh, MLW is currently running live events on October 3rd and December 5th. Of course, we will have to see what happens with the pandemic. Pillman will be working those shows if he's not released before then. For what it's worth, MLW and AEW have worked out deals before. One of those deals included MJF before his deal with MLW expired. What do you guys think? You think Brian Pillman Jr. would be a great fit for AEW? Because I think that's what's going to happen. I believe that's what's going to happen. So only time will tell, and only the future will tell. But as far as MLW, I'm very, very disappointed in MLW. If you guys were actually going to make this guy into a star on your own and make him your guy's star, why in the blue hell did you keep him under an old contract? It's silly, guys, because he appeared on AEW in the fans, in the attendance, right? Mm-hmm. And now he's under an old contract from MLW, which allows him to appear for any wrestling shows. So my question is to Court Bearer and MLW, why haven't you guys tried to re-sign him to a new contract and a new deal to keep him? Now he's on his way out, looks like. It sounds like he's looking to leave. Oh, man. So, guys, I want to ask you guys, what do you guys think? Brian Pillman Jr. going to AEW, or you think he's going to stay with MLW? That's my question to you guys. On top of that, do you think he'd be a good fit for WWE if he could? Just let me know what you guys think in the comments about all these different topics today. Other than that, guys, y'all have a great day. Thank you for watching, and hit a like, hit a subscribe if you'd like this video, or you want to subscribe to my channel. Do what you want to do. Do what you got to do. Leave a comment. Give me what you guys thinking, because quite honestly, as far as I'm considered in this freaking topic right here, is that I think Brian Pillman's going somewhere, and it might be All Elite. That's just my honest opinion. And I think Court Bearer needs to go fix a contract situation, which is kind of like, oh boy, you got to get on it before you lose some fucking star. I mean, this happened with Luger in WWE when he went back to WCW, guys. So that's all I'm saying. All right. Y'all take care. You have a great day, and God bless. Love y'all. Aloha.